Welcome to the All Stars Parent Meeting. My name is Kelly Robinson. My daughter is Madison. She's 15. She's been in the studio since she was 3. So I would call myself a veteran. And I am part of the group here that leads the volunteers. Sarah, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Sarah. Sarah Little. I have 2 dancers here right now, but I have an older one that also danced. So
Come on in.
my daughter is Cassidy. She's also one of the instructors, and she has also been here since she was 3. And she graduates in 2 weeks. And then I have an almost 10-year-old here.
And Natalia.
I'm Natalia Holsey. You probably see my face more often than not. I have an LM who's a 5th grader now, and she's going into 6th grade, teen years now, teen classes next year. She has been here since kindergarten, so right around 6 years we've been here. Got stuck.
Yeah.
I'm stuck here.
So the 3 of us you'll see throughout all day tomorrow. You guys, how many of you have an LM child? Okay, so there's a few of you who don't have someone here except tomorrow. And then all through dress rehearsal. Sarah's gonna take a minute. She's gonna talk a little bit about general rehearsal tomorrow. Natalia's gonna talk a little bit about dress rehearsal, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about show day. So we're gonna kind of split it up into those 3. And then, yeah, because Sarah's a teacher, so she must have we'll just stand this line everybody. Do we need one more chair? Thank you.
Okay. They can share.
Here, we have another one. And then if somebody else comes in, they can
Okay. All right, I get to start. All right, first, so I'm going to be talking about general rehearsal. General rehearsal is tomorrow, and it is a day where they run all the dances, and they'll try and talk through things. They block it, then they run it, then they might run it again. So it turns into kind of a long day, depending on how many dances your child is in. But it's really important because up to this point, they've not done anything together. All of the classes, one right after another, it's just been their class or just the classes that they dance with for that hour. So it's really important to see how the whole show goes. So tomorrow, check-in.
grab some extra chairs if you need to.
And we're gonna do check-in about, at 8:30?
We're starting a little bit. She's starting at 8:30. So.
Starting at 8:30, so you need to be here prior to 8:30. So we'll open the doors at 8, so anywhere between 8 and 8:30 you can come. And again, this is for the LMs and the juniors and the teens. So if you have a kindergarten through 2nd, they do not need to come. There is a schedule that's been posted on the website, so check that out because depending on what classes your dancer is in, what part of the show, they won't need to be here the whole time, but, look at
It
this.
looks like that. And she's got buttons on the spring production page where you can find all of it. So it'll say general rehearsal. General rehearsal, if you click on that, it'll have this. It'll have all the details that you need to know and the schedule. Sorry.
That's okay, no, that's important. No costumes are needed tomorrow. They wear their class uniform or something they're comfortable in. Please make sure that they have their actual shoes though. So they've got to have their dance shoes for whatever class they're in, that's important. If your child is here for more than one session, send snacks. Please make sure you have water bottles with lids. Don't send Stanleys. The Stanleys fall over and they spill, just saying. And we've got a lot of dancers in there and they're kind of taking up the room 2 and room 3. No, take that back, Sarah. Room 2 and room 1, and they're all on the floors in there. So can you imagine if we have Stanleys that spill, or if you bring in takeout food with the little, plastic top lids and those spill, we're cleaning up spills around all of the dancers and their gear and things like that. So please make sure that the water bottles have lids that the close and not open tops. And also, just to help us out a little bit, you can also send like a towel. It helps for them to have like their own little space on the floor when they're kind of sitting and waiting, but also if we need to, it helps us clean things up. Because we go through a lot of paper towels otherwise when we do have spills. So, then after general rehearsal runs, we've got 1 more week of classes before dress rehearsal. So let me talk to you a little bit about dress rehearsal. rehearsal and getting prepared for that. So,
Can I ask a question?
oh, yes, please. I should have paused. Thank you.
So, my granddaughter, she's in Act 1, Part 1, and then Act 2, Part 2. So does that mean I'll pick her up and then take her and then take her back?
Yes. If she's in Act 1, Part 1, she'll be here from 8:30 until
10:30.
projected 10:45. And then Act 2, Part 2, you said?
Yeah.
She'll be here from 3 to projected 5.
Make a note.
When you see the word projected, it is intentional from Victoria, because like Sarah said, this is the first time they're stitching it together, and if all goes swimmingly, she's gonna let them go right on time. If they have trouble going from A to B, she has to tap. She will run it a few times because she wants them to have confidence here before they go over there. So we will, if we are more than 20 minutes late, we will notify you, but we'll get to that at the band.
I just wanted to hear from you all, because she'll probably want to stay.
If she wants to stay,
We're-
she can.
And we're here the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, there's parents here the entire day. If she wants to stay and you just wanna drop food off, that's completely fine as well.
For general.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And don't wait until the lunch break.
No, there isn't one.
Yeah,
What if the kid can't make it
Yeah,
tomorrow?
no.
Will they still be down for the regular show?
Have you previously talked with her teacher about that?
I told my little one to let them know that she's not gonna be there tomorrow.
Okay.
They're out.
Then let's, before we leave, let me just make sure I get your dancer's name, so we have that all squared away, because general rehearsal is supposed to be required. So they know. How old is your daughter?
8.
8, okay. So, yeah, just being able to put the whole thing together, but let us know after so we can make sure that's all squared away.
So if she's 8, is she in, what grade? Oh, she is in LM, okay. Then yeah, she's
So the pickup tomorrow is at 5. Elena has, in the last
Yeah.
session, she has, just 2. And do you think I'm gonna be able to pick her up before 5? No?
No, if it's something specific, hold on to it for right now, we'll talk about it after, because we'll have to do that by child rather than everyone else.
Okay.
I'm gonna
okay.
have to talk
Thank
as well, because
Okay,
she's in gymnastics.
We have more chairs over here if you guys.
And she has a Saturday class, and,
Okay.
and she ends up missing every time there is a
Alright.
show and
Yeah.
everything.
well, we'll talk about it. If you have individuals, we'll talk about it after. Okay, so we need to get prepared for dress rehearsal, which is 1 week from today. So 1 week from now, your kids will be at the Gas South Theater. So that's really important. General rehearsal is here. Dress rehearsal is at the Gas South Theater. So in 1 week, we'll be over there. And we're gonna talk to you a little bit more about that in Duluth in just a minute. But this week, what you wanna be doing is making sure you lay out all your costumes, making sure you have all the tights, all the shoes, all the hair pieces, and label them. If you want it back, label it. Bobby pins? Maybe not. But short of anything else, make sure your name's on it. At the end of the show, we pick everything up and we bring it back to the studio. And if it doesn't have your name on it, you're not gonna be able to get it back. Also, if your child is in both shows and it's not labeled, it's very hard for them to find what they need for the second show, and they panic. I can't find my shoe. Is your name in it? No. Okay. We pick everything up after each show. If your name's in it, we're gonna find it. So please, that's one of the most important things is
If
label
you're-
it.
Sorry, if they're just in one dance, are they going to be changing in and out? And do they need to stay there from the first show till the end of the second show? Or can we pick them up and then they come again for the second show?
we're gonna go over that.
We will
Okay.
get, we will get to that.
Okay.
But
We'll cover
my advice is even if they only have one thing,
Uh-huh.
label it.
But they're wearing it.
I can
Yes.
understand.
You never know when they take it off.
A shoe, they'll take off a shoe.
They'll take it
Throw
off.
it in the bin,
They'll
somebody
borrow
else's
their
bag,
friend's
20 minutes
sweatshirt,
later.
they'll I just,
Yeah, I hear you.
the advice over the years is label it if you would like it back.
Alright, also, if your child has more than one costume, get a laundry basket to carry into the theater. We cannot accommodate suitcases, it's just too big and there's too many dancers, but, a laundry basket is perfect for them to carry, or like a small tote. If you think like the 31 totes that they had, the like square ones, or something like that, about that size, that they can bring things in if they have more than one. If they're just bringing their own costume, they already have it on, and they just need a few items, a small bag is fine with like their snacks and things. However, if your child does have a change, and we can go over this child by child if we need to, but if your child has a change that's gonna be what we call a quick change, and it's gonna be done on the side of the stage, if you have a small basket, think like Dollar Tree, Target, small laundry basket, like
The $2 square one
Yeah.
from Target that they have, it's a really good sturdy one, so.
but you can send that because we'll put that on the side of the stage for them with that change there. And again, if you're not sure if your child has a quick change in between costumes, we'll be happy to take a look at the list and go over that after. And then as someone who has helped with those kinds of changes, another good suggestion is to make sure that their name is on it prominently. So if you think about a laundry basket and you can kind of picture like the top, it's either rounded or flattened, put their name on the top there. I even have a dancer who has a ribbon run all the way through it. I know that one is hers. Every time she puts it on stage, I said, I know exactly which child is coming to that basket. So if you can, if not, if we have time, it doesn't always happen, but if we have time, we'll scribble a piece of tape and put their name on it, but that's, again, if it's the side of the stage and we have to get to it really fast. This week, print out or write out the show order for your child. If they have more than one performance or more than one class that they're gonna be performing, it's really good for them to know what order it comes in. So we keep them posted up around the backstage area, but if they know I'm at number 5 and I'm at number 20, it helps them if they know what is coming next. Here are some items to bring, and Victoria sent out a checklist in an email, and these are also on there, but these are some of the things that you might want to have. Brush, comb, extra hair loss sticks, bobby pins, hairspray, makeup for touch-ups, something to keep them entertained. However, there is no Wi-Fi backstage, so electronics are okay, but they won't be able to access any Wi-Fi. Snacks are fine as long as they're not greasy or colored. We don't want to get it on any costumes or anyone else's. Water. Please avoid anything that has dye color in it, like Powerades, Gatorades. Try and send just waters. And then just a suggestion, and this kind of comes into play with the, what if they wear their one costume the whole time? If you know that they're gonna be eating either lunch or snacks, you can always send an oversized shirt that they can pull over their costume and not mess up their hair, or a button up that they can put on when they're eating. If they're prone to spills, or even if they're not, just to cover it up. So the other thing to plan for, before I pass it on to Natalia, is have a plan for lunch in between shows if your dancer is there for both. Food can be dropped off for them and we will bring it back to them. If you want to eat with your child in between shows, you're gonna need to wait for them to check out. It may not be fast because there are a lot of dancers in backstage. They all need to make sure they get everything reset. Everyone needs to find that lost shoe that didn't have a name in it, and then we will bring them out to you. So you can do either one, but just know if you do check them out to go eat with them, you might wanna make sure you have your food there already. They've added a lot more eating areas around Gas South since we first started doing shows there. Used to be there was only one place. So now you have more choices, but just keep in mind the travel time that you will need, the eating time, the travel time back, and then getting them back to the theater at 5:30 for the next show.
Or at 5, because she's gonna have them on stage.
At 5.
5:30.
5, okay. All right,
How long does the show, the actual show
the
run?
show is,
It starts at 1.
yes.
It's 1 to 3.
Yeah, especially the first one. So the 1 o'clock is the longest because it has all the little kids in it. So that one's a little, it might be a little bit more than
About 2.5 hours
Yeah.
Yeah.
for the first one.
And then after that first one, for checkout, we need to get the itty bitty little ones out first, because they'll start crying and missing their moms. And then we'll get the K2 kids out, and then the 11s will be able to check out. Teens have their own way to check out. But, so just, yeah, keep that in mind if you're bringing them to eat.
Alright,
Like
now I'm gonna
dress.
pass it to Natalia, she's gonna tell you the rest about dress rehearsal.
Can I ask one other thing?
Please.
Yeah.
Is it cold where they'll be? Okay,
It's not overly cold to them.
okay.
And it's actually never cold to us because we're running 100 miles an
Yeah.
hour too, but.
If they want to bring something to put on the ground, that's totally okay, cause sometimes they do that, they'll like keep their little blanket and like just find a little corner or something, they can bring that.
The same thing that you would bring to general, the towel or the blanket for them to sit on is usually a good idea, because it is tile floor, but they're not sitting that much, believe it or not, so.
So, one of the hardest things sometimes getting to the theater is that when you put in the address, it takes you to the arena, and the theater's like all the way around on the other side. So your best bet is to look for the theater address, just look up for the theater, and then that one takes you through Sugarloaf, whichever way, and then you're gonna turn on Satellite Boulevard and enter through Satellite Boulevard.
Is it in the back?
It is.
Yeah.
So
So,
the arena's over here, the
Yeah.
theater's all the way on the other side.
so if
Yeah, there's the convention, there's the arena, then the convention center, and then the theater.
I don't know if you can see
And the
from here,
theater
but I'll
is
pass it
off
down.
of Satellite.
You don't want to go in off of Sugar Life, especially because of graduations.
Yeah,
You can
the
get,
arena will be-
don't go in off of Sugar
crazy.
Life, yeah.
So your best bet is taking, if you take 85, you're gonna make a left onto, Satellite. If you're coming and you take a Peachtree Industrial, which a lot of us do, you turn right onto that road, and then you'll see it. It's gonna be your first right, there's a hotel in the corner, you turn right and then just straight left. You go right again and you follow it to the roundabout. That area is only for dropping off, but we will post these also, so you guys can see if you wanna.
Is it like an exact address that we can put on?
No, the only address they have is the
Is
one
the
for the arena that is 6400 Sugarloaf Parkway, which takes you to the arena and not to the theater where we are. And they connect, but it makes you go like 1,000 different ways. So it's a lot more confusing. So as long as you get on Weaver High, on Satellite Boulevard
Actually,
by the Chick-fil-A,
That was what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
If you put the Chick-fil-A on Satellite Boulevard there, it'll take you to the right road.
yeah,
And
it's
it's
straight across,
still
we're straight
right
across the
road
street from it.
But I think Chick-fil-A moved.
It's
No.
there.
No, that
Still
one,
right next door.
yeah.
Okay.
It's still, like, they're still in that same little area, so it's still straight across the street, it's still on Satellite Boulevard. And that's the easiest way to go, is just go off of Satellite to get in there. You're gonna follow the road, and there's the roundabout, it's a right, and then a left.
Immediate left.
Yes, right?
And when, yeah, you turn right
And immediate left.
and immediate
Into
left.
the
into
parking lot. That whole area that you're first gonna drive through, that's where you park. So it's a bit of a walk. So keep that in mind when you're dropping off, and the time and everything. If you wanna walk at like kids' speed, it could take you up to 10 minutes to walk, honestly. 'Cause- yes, exactly, because you're carrying things and everything, so.
Unless someone drop us off.
Exactly, and then they have to move,
Yes.
yes, cause security is usually on us about that, like, don't park there. If you're gonna if you want to, and you're by yourself and you want to just get out and unload, you can do that. Leave it there and go park your car, come back. It's still faster.
A preference of how the dancers are coming in, are they coming in dressed up in their costumes?
Yes,
Yeah, we're gonna go through that. And
Yeah.
they have to come in there first.
yes.
Do you know where you put park here? Is that the official parking if you bought it with the?
Yes, that is the same area, it's just for dress rehearsal, it'll be completely open and free. And then during showdown, they'll have attendants there that are blocking the entrances and the exits for us, so.
Are there any signs, like, outside?
There
We
will,
will have
So there-
signs that lead you over to our check-in area. Yes,
not in the parking lot, just to be transparent, we don't have that with them. So once you park, if you're walking towards the doors, there'll be signs that guide you around the building.
But, if we feel comfortable enough and our dancer does, can we unload them and leave? Or do you want you need the parent to come up, right? To check them in?
How old is your granddaughter?
She's 9.
So she's in she can, if you're comfortable and they are, she can walk herself in. I would probably walk her around.
Okay.
It's not a bad area, but I would just probably, 9, I would walk her around.
She would be out of your sight.
For-
Yeah, if
Yeah,
you
okay, I
want,
didn't
like,
know.
yeah, because we'll tell you, but we're gonna take you around the building. She would be out of your sight. If you like waited in that roundabout area and dropped her off, you wouldn't see her as she walked around the building.
that's
Thank
the
you.
map that's going around right now, so when you get off at that roundabout, there's a main entrance to the theater there. We don't go in that way, those doors are locked for you and for us, we can't access that way. So you have to walk around the path on the side, which is the map that I'm passing now, that takes you all around on the outside of the theater to one of the doors on the side. So it's still a bit of a walk, and yes, because it's round, you stop seeing them within like 10, 15 steps.
Thank you.
And then you find the angry geese too, they're very mean. Oh, they really are.
Yeah, there's a
Like,
pond.
The theater people have always warned us the geese are awful. So,
They hiss at you.
they're not friendly.
Did you have a question?
We found the address for that hotel if anybody wants it.
Oh, that's a
Yes,
good one too.
yes.
Because that's gonna be where you turn
What's
right.
the name of that one?
It's the Embassy Suites by
Mhm.
Hilton.
Yeah.
So it's 2029 Satellite Boulevard, and that's the one that's gonna be right there before you turn right.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent, thank you for sharing that.
I'm right here.
Oh, you're fine.
And then, yeah, like we said, so along that path on the side, there'll be signs all over that point you, in which door you're gonna go in and which door you're gonna exit and all the good stuff, you'll see it there. Then the Twinkle Toes parents, they go into the theater with
Do
the
we
kids.
have any Twinkle
Do we
Toes
have
parents?
Twinkle Toes?
Twinkle Toes, okay. You'll actually go in the theater with your child. Everyone else, you will drop them off at the check.
Okay, 2 and up, you check them in, give them a kiss, and you let us take them. Believe me, we have, how many do we have in the back? About 12 people? Without us.
About 15.
About 15 people, that's our team.
So
I
would
mean,
we be able to head to our seats right as we check them in, or no?
no,
The theater won't be open.
the theater will be open for another couple of
Well,
months.
let's finish
But,
dressing.
yeah.
Let us get through.
For the
yeah, let's
dress
get through
rehearsal,
dressing.
you cannot access the theater at all. You don't get to watch dress rehearsal. You drop them off and then you have to leave immediately. You can stay in your car and park, or you can leave and go home and come back to pick them up. I would suggest that whatever the time it says that your section is going to be over, be there by that time. Even if it gets delayed, at least you're already there. In case they end up leaving early. Rarely happens, but miracles happen every day, so. Never know. And if we're running late, we will. So,
Let us get to the band in just one second.
yeah, because
Hold
we'll
on.
have more info about that. They all drop off there. They need to be in their first costume, correct tights, correct shoes, hair and makeup done before you drop them off. So when they get to our check-in table, everything needs to be done. We might be able to help you with some things, but we don't share makeup. We don't have makeup to help you with. We can only help you with what you bring. And we have a lot of other kids, so the most that you can do for your own child, the better it is for them and their stress level in the back. Because it's a lot of running around and trying to make sure that they're comfortable and happy.
They won't be allowed to check in until that is done. So you will have to stand in the lobby and frantically put makeup on. And it is not good for their stress level, it's not good for your stress level, speaking as a parent. It is walk them in all the way down. That's better for all of you guys, with the exception of the
She got out of the car.
If they have,
Trying to get out of the car.
see, you have the alarm on. If they have tap shoes or like they don't wanna scuff up their ballet shoes, they can walk with their shoes, so don't, feel like they have to.
Yeah, they could bring
They
like
can
flip
come in
flops or
street
sandals or
clothes.
boots or whatever it is that they're wearing, sneakers, and then hold their dance shoes in their hand. Just make sure they have their name and all over them, please.
Yeah.
Correct tights. If they have more than one dance, we will show you, we'll explain to you how to layer tights so that you can do that for them, because it makes it a whole lot easier. Even if they have a lot of time in between one and the other, it's much better and easier because they don't always have access to a bathroom to change by themselves. So it'll be better for them if they have their layers, their tights layered in the correct order for their dances, and that way they just shed things. They take them off.
You wanna explain that? So, do you guys know what she means by layering tights on top? Anybody that doesn't, you go to their last dance. If their last dance is ballet, they're gonna be wearing pink tights. So that's what you put on first, because that's their last dance. Then you put on their tan leotard so that they can change, and nobody's embarrassed about changing because they have on a tan leotard underneath their costume.
Yes,
Then if their second dance is jazz, they have on tan tights or the top of their leotard, and they're gonna go, no, I have to put one underneath. No, you don't, because nobody can see where the top of the tights are, right? It's underneath the costume. And then if they have ballet before that, if they were in 2 ballet classes, I'm making it up, they would have pink tights on top of tan, on top of pink. And the beauty of that is, you can imagine that they come off and their feet are sweaty. And so when the moms are back there trying to help them put their tights on, these little sweaty feet, it becomes, they get frustrated, they're like,
They're
"Can't get
hot,
my tights on."
everybody's hot,
It makes them
so.
hotter, it's just so much simpler for them if they can layer. If they had, I think Karina, at one point, Victoria's daughter had 13 pairs of tights on, some ridiculous layer,
I
I
don't
think,
think-
you know.
I think it gets bigger every year, but yes.
Yeah, it is kind of like a
Yes.
scale, but I mean,
Yeah, think about a snake, you're just like, each
3
layer,
is
you're
not
just taking it
unusual
off.
to wear, 2 to 3 is not unusual to wear.
That's
It's not
usually-
that uncomfortable and it's much easier on them and their stress.
Once you get the first one on and you smooth the second one, it's easy. Like, it's not that hard, just make sure it's on smooth, and then you just kind of smooth the other one in, and it stays, and it looks perfectly, you don't notice it. Even if your daughter even if your child does only have one dance, sometimes it's better to still have the skin tone Leo. Let's say they get dirty, they get wet or something, we can take the dress off and figure out a way to dry it, but we can't leave her naked. You know, so if they have the skin tone at least, and if they have like a towel or a blanket, then, you know, they have that to cover themselves, so they'll still be comfortable. It's always just good to have it. For Nutcracker, you will need it. So having it is what's best every time.
So with the leotard though, when you put that under and then the tights over, if they have multiple dances?
Yes.
First, the last dance, pair of tights first, then the Leo, then every other pair of tights. And that makes sense.
Or you can leave them all on top, whichever way, just as long as they have that one base Leo, and they can always just start over.
Here.
If hair, makeup, yes. First costume. Check that all your items are in your basket and what you're bringing. Make sure you have her pieces. Her pieces cause a lot of chaos. When one is missing, everybody has to take them off, or depends on the teacher to make a decision. It always turns out into, why didn't you bring it? And I'm sorry, I forgot, I lost it. And everybody's like, but why? You know, it's stressful, it's silly, but they're all girls, and that's what they do. They have to criticize each other just a little bit. So make sure that you layer that you have every costume with every hair accessory and the tights, and that you have a hair and makeup things. If you show up with them without tights, you will be able to buy them from us. If the tights rip during the show and we need to replace them, you will be charged for them. We will bring a lot of what we need over there. The only thing we would not have is shoes. So if you lose the shoes, if you forget the shoes, if something happens to the shoes, we can't help you. So it will be awful. So yeah, please make sure that they have their names, and even if you want to put like marks that don't show everywhere, but it will be easy for her to recognize if she can't read or something, please do it. It really takes a lot of stress out of there. Yeah.
For the K2 girls, especially mine, she's the K, would you be able to help her to get undressed, like get changed?
Yes,
And then
we
her-
have moms that will be stationed at each dressing room. So normally we try for the K2s, because they need a lot more help, to have 2 to 3 moms per dressing room. And we usually have 2 K2 dressing rooms. So, and
Said what happens backstage, maybe we can talk about that and we can finish up with hair.
Yeah.
You wanna do that or not? Okay. So I'm gonna jump in.
Are we gonna talk about hair anymore?
We are, we're gonna talk about it in
Yeah.
a second. So what happens backstage? So we have a lot of nervousness, and so I just wanna like help you guys understand what happens. So, like we said, you're gonna bring them up to the check-in table, you're gonna kiss them goodbye, you're gonna wish them good luck, or break a leg, or whatever you wanna say to them. I can't say break a leg to mine, because I keep thinking she's actually gonna break a leg. But we will take them, a mother will walk them backstage. They will walk into a dressing room with all of their classmates. So we have our dressing rooms separated. We have kindergarten through 2nd grade in 2 different dressing rooms, because there's a lot of them. There's 2 moms in one of the rooms and 3 moms in the other one. That one mom kind of floats back and forth so that there could be, maybe take people to the potty and people back. They will help your kid with everything. They will make sure that they are fed and happy and drinking water and changing clothes costume rips, they will help with all of that. So we have mothers that are there that, and it is mothers, I'm just being really explicit so you guys know, it's moms backstage for the most part. Every once in a while we'll have one dad that volunteers, but those two rooms are
They end up
moms.
being on like the stage
Yeah.
hands and things like that, where it's not as easy for us moms.
We have a separate room for our Twinkle Toes. So our Twinkle Toes will check in at intermission. We'll walk in with two mommies that we're gonna walk them in, and they're gonna stay with them the whole time, right up until the time they do curtain call. It will be one of the two of us as one of them. So they will recognize one of the two of us from the day before. We're gonna be there at dress rehearsal too to introduce ourselves to the littles. And then the LMs and teens each have their own dressing room. So we have the LMs in one and the teens in another. They will have a little space on the floor, they have mirrors, they have lights, they have bathrooms. Everything is in those two dressing rooms, so they're pretty self-contained, and we keep them in the dressing rooms until it's time for them to line up. When we're at this theater, we have the ability to do a lot more there's a lot more room back there, so what we typically do is we will line up the first 7 or 8 numbers that are getting ready to go on stage. So they will actually stand in a line, all in a row, in the order that they're gonna go on stage. And they'll be with their class, we keep them together, and we do that so that as they're making their way to the stage door, when they're about to dance, we have another set of moms that are walking by doing this. Oh, let's fix your hair. Oh, no, your tights are not on, right? Oh, we fix their costumes so that they look perfect
The
when they
best
the door.
out there.
Can't tell you how many times we have somebody come up in their tennis shoes. So we're like, nope, sweetheart, we gotta go back to the room and get your shoes. So we make sure that we're like the last line of defense before they walk on stage. We also are waiting for them when they come off stage. We make sure that they're not running, we walk them back to their
They
dressing
usually
rooms.
get walked into the wings by one of the adults.
Yeah.
Or one of the students that is a lead for their classes or something like that is usually who will grab them all and make sure that they all make it to the wings and find their spots and then get on stage.
Yeah.
They're not just led to, hey, get in there.
Yeah, we don't just go, hey, good luck.
Yeah.
Somebody walks them all the way to the
Yeah.
stage, especially at this age. LMs, not so much. LMs kind of know what they do, and they practice that during dress rehearsal as well. So they will have seen it already. They'll see the wings. Unfortunately, we had the Angels last year didn't know the mice were gonna come out, and it was kind of a little bit of a mess, and they all cried, and I was like, I can't do what they're doing, I don't want babies crying. But for the most part, during dress rehearsal, that's where they get a chance to actually see the backstage. The lights are working during dress, so they can see how dark it is. They walk off, they know where their dressing rooms are during dress rehearsal. It's the same dressing room the next day, so they kind of know where they're going. It's a very familiar spot. They're never by themselves. I just want you guys to know that. There is a parent watching them at all times. We walk them to the bathroom, we walk them out of the bathroom. I had kids ask me for help in the bathroom, so helping them get their tights back up, because costumes are hard to get in and out of. We help them with all of that. So I just want to kind of put your minds at ease. It's parents of dancers, everybody's there for them, what happens backstage. The other thing is if they have multiple dances, they will have to change their costumes. The mothers will help them with that. I think Sarah mentioned, or one of you guys mentioned, quick changes. Every child thinks that they have a quick change. Don't. A quick change is considered if they have 2 or less dances to change, right? So what'll happen is they put that on the side of the stage, and they will be assigned either a parent or a teenager they'll run off the stage, they'll run over to their basket. Sarah's there, she takes off my dress, she pulls up my other dress, we get my hair changed up, and then I'm ready to go back on stage. That's a quick change. 95% of your children will not have a quick change. They will have a regular change. We will walk them back to the dressing room, we'll help them get changed. It's not necessarily slow, because the show does keep going, but we will help them with that. That's why the tight layering becomes really important, not only for a quick change, but just a regular change, because if they have 5 numbers, and they have to go to the bathroom, then all of a sudden they have 3 numbers, now we're kind of looking at it, right? So now we need them to be sort of already halfway there. So that's where that just comes into their stress level and our stress level of helping keep them along, because we want them to be happy and calm and have a great show and not be worried at all about their stuff on their body.
I know K2s don't have as many hair changes as maybe the LMs and the teens. I know there might be a couple, but, so the way we're gonna work it out is if there is enough time, the dancers come, there's enough hands, we will change their hair. If not, the default is whatever hair you have for ballet, so a bun, which still looks beautiful, their hair will still be pretty, and it will still be done. But we don't wanna stress them out, oh my gosh, we have 2 minutes and we have to make 6 face buns. We're just, no, she's gonna go in a bun because we're not gonna make anybody, you know, freak out and get hysterical, because it's just not.
We don't like tears.
Yeah,
Um,
the less they can try, the better for us. That's a big accomplishment on our side.
yeah, and since we're on hair, let's talk hair.
Yeah.
You wanna talk about hair?
So, what are we talking about for hair? 'Cause I forgot.
So make sure that when your dancers are checked in, their hair is neat,
Yes.
right? So we wanna make sure that everything's nice and smooth, if they're wearing a bun. Miss Victoria likes to have a higher bun, that's her preference, unless it specifies low split bun, and I think those are mostly teens, which is where they split it down the middle and put it down here. It should be like you're doing a high pony, like a cheerleading high pony. And
So
then
like
you do
on the
bun
crown?
top.
I was gonna say, yeah, I think more
Yes.
like, you don't want it to
You
be
don't want
like
it here, but you want it
straight up on top of your head.
on the back of your head.
So a regular, so a regular bun goes here, a low bun here, needs to go right down here. And then the high bun needs to be up here.
Yeah.
So where you can see it, cause if they have a hairpiece, then you'll be able to see the hairpiece. If it's down here and you have a hairpiece, then you won't see the hairpiece. And I know in the list of hairs, the hair changes and everything is on the costume list too. It is all there, the shoes, the tights, the costume and the hair, for most of them that are listed. If you're missing any, please email or call the studio and find out for sure what it's supposed to be like. So for the first dance they're gonna be in, we expect them to arrive with that, the hair neat. It's up to you if and what products you prefer to use on your child. We have kids that don't like to use any products, we have families, and we respect that. We will do our best to honor that. We do ask that if your child has bangs, the bangs are up and away from the face. No hair accessories other than the pieces that are given with your costume. So any extra clips that you need to put up, like the short hair or anything, need to match the hair color.
No, you know, like some of them have the little, nets that go over the bun and they have little dewdroppers in them, I'm sorry, that's my son. They have little jewels in them, none of that, we won't let them on the stage with that.
They have to match the hair, kind of like what the cooks use. That's what you would need.
And then a trick is to take a toothbrush and spray it, the toothbrush itself with hairspray, and then after you put it up in a bun, that kind of helps get the little bitty baby flyaways back. Gel is perfect for it. If you can get, Maxie would never let me do gel, so I always had to do a little flyaway thing. There's
Usually
sticks.
hairspray is what we keep in the back to help whoever's hair gets messed up.
Elena is with LN. She says that she needs to go from high bun to low bun.
Yes,
One of the mothers in
we
the
will.
dressing room.
So if you have a hair change, please send your own things to use on their hair, preferable, as much as, I guess all the chemicals from the hairsprays kind of might kill most of that stuff. You never know, so we rather not share things.
It's just that we
If
don't have
possible,
it.
and we
just don't
we
have
don't
bobby
keep
pins.
it
We
either.
don't keep it
So
either.
I don't wanna use another dancers to do Elena's hair, if possible. So sending hairspray, hair ties, bobby pins, hair nets, everything, just make a little pouch.
We do have the same length. Sorry, Jim.
It's a knockoff. It's like,
Sorry.
if it was real, it wouldn't have fallen over.
So my granddaughter has, short, fairly curly hair,
Mhm.
and she's got first half up, half down, then a bun, and then, space buns. Well, the only way you can get the bun and the space bun is if you have a lot of products.
Yes.
So, where would you?
What is your dancer's name?
Arabella.
Okay,
Jones.
yes, I know she does. Her hair's like right here, right?
Mhm.
To be honest, I don't think we'll be able to do the space buns.
I have done them.
Have you?
Mhm.
So we will give it a try. We'll give it our best try.
Okay.
But if we don't, then that will be it. But we have hands, like,
Also, the teenagers will sometimes jump in.
yes,
you know.
and they're much better at hair than we actually are now.
So that half up, half down is the first thing.
Mhm.
And then I think that we'll see the list tomorrow, but I think the ballet is pretty close. So do you think the teenagers would help her?
Yes.
Yes.
And you
yes.
can do a half up, half down, and then do your ballet bun over it. Like if it says like you need a ballet bun and then you need half up, half down, You can put the hair half up, half down, and then make the ballet bun
She just
around
doesn't
it.
have that much hair in it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
Early,
but yeah,
can't
you
take a comb
can.
through it.
If we can't get the bun done before she's supposed to go on stage, she will go out with it half up, half down, because we don't want her to miss the dance because we're gonna do her hair.
Well, her teachers have said that and this is why I'm asking, because you are the moms and you know what goes on.
Yeah.
They said that the ballet bun trumps everything,
Yes.
and so I was just wondering, do you think she should just come in a ballet bun?
No, come with her hair done first dance.
Mhm.
Come with her hair done first dance. We talked, we cleared this with Miss Victoria. Come with it done.
We will
first
try
dance.
to do their hair.
Okay.
If it doesn't work out, then they will come out with a bun. But we will still try.
And I'm sorry to be so specific
No, no, no.
with her, but, I think one of the things that maybe would help is if I actually got a little hairpiece that was a bun. Do you all ever do that?
The donut,
No, not the donut, like, it would be, like, you know, how,
Whatever
Like the
you-
ponytails that some of the girls have, they're like curls that.
yeah,
if you
and
have
you
a-
just make it a bun and you stick the bun on.
If you wanna send it with her and maybe show one of us how to do it when you drop her off, then we're totally fine.
I didn't know if you'd ever done that, if that's just too much.
I haven't personally, because my daughter has in the chair, I
Okay.
can't brush it, but, but I do know that they do ponies, they do all